Welcome everyone. In today's show, Chelsea is offloading Sterling. Aston Villa is preparing a transfer bombshell from Atletico. Galatasaray lures Bernardo Silva, and the crazy Livramento transfer. All of this and more in today's episode. Liam Rosenior's era at Chelsea has officially begun. This Thursday, the new head coach of the Blues conducted his first training session at the Cobham base. Rosenior signed a 6-year contract, and his official debut will take place in a few days in the FA Cup match against Charlton. However, despite the managerial change, the club's transfer plans remain steadfast. Chelsea management has made it clear this January will be dedicated not to high-profile signings, but to a significant reduction of the bloated squad. The primary candidate for departure is Raheem Sterling. Raheem is determined to stay in London, and currently, the most active contender for the winger is Fulham. Besides the Cottagers, West Ham and Crystal Palace have shown interest, but the Fulham project looks most attractive to Sterling at this moment. Alongside him, defender Axel Disasi, who is a target for West Ham, and young talent Tariq George are preparing to leave the club. George's transfer is expected to be completed within the next 2 weeks. Interestingly, it was the recruitment strategy that led to the dismissal of the previous manager, Enzo Maresca. The Italian insisted on strengthening the goalkeeper, centre-back, and striker positions, believing that without this, Chelsea would not see silverware. However, the club's board refused to commit to significant recruitment at this stage, leading to conflict and Maresca's departure. Rosenior, on the other hand, has accepted the role of a transition manager, focusing on working with the existing resources. My verdict: for Sterling, a move to Fulham is a logical chance to reboot his career while staying in comfortable London. As for Rosenior, he is taking a massive risk. Starting a 6-year contract in economy mode and under the pressure of having to immediately trim the squad is a serious trial. He will have to deliver results with those who remain, and any failure at the start will only increase the skepticism of the fans. While Manchester United, Tottenham, and Newcastle were hesitating, Aston Villa took a decisive step. Unai Emery's team has officially entered the race for Atletico Madrid midfielder Conor Gallagher. According to sources, the Birmingham-based club has already made a definitive move to hijack the player and bring him back to his homeland this January. The situation for Conor in Spain has become critical. Although Diego Simeone values the Englishman's work rate, he cannot guarantee him a stable place in the starting lineup. In the current La Liga season, the 25-year-old midfielder has started only 4 out of 19 matches. For Gallagher, this is a huge problem, as a spot in Thomas Tuchel's squad for the 2026 World Cup is at stake. Conor has made it clear to the Colchoneros management that he wants to leave, and the club has agreed to let him go, but on their own terms. Atletico is ready to consider a loan option, but only on the condition of an obligatory permanent buyout later. For Aston Villa, who currently share second place in the table and are only 6 points behind the leaders, Arsenal, such a player is ideal reinforcement for the title race. Gallagher will have to compete with masters like John McGinn and Yuri Tielemans, but the intensity of Emery's football fits him 100%. This is a brilliant move by Aston Villa. Gallagher is the engine that can provide Emery with exactly the energy that is often lacking in the middle of the season. For Conor himself, this is a lifeline. It is better to fight for the Premier League title under the watch of Tuchel than to sit on the bench in Madrid. If Villa closes this deal soon, their chances for the top 4, or even something more, will grow exponentially. Turkish Galatasaray is preparing a real transfer bombshell that could blow up the European market as early as this summer. According to well-known insider Nicolo Shearer, the Istanbul giant has begun official negotiations to sign Manchester City star Bernardo Silva. The Turks want to take the Portuguese as a free agent, as his contract with the Citizens expires in June 2026. A key role in this operation is played by Bernardo's best friend İlkay Gundogan. The former City teammates maintain a close bond, and Gundogan, who has already been playing for Galatasaray for 6 months, is actively convincing Silva to choose Istanbul. It is said that İlkay, in private conversations, highly praised the club's ambitious project and the atmosphere in Turkish stadiums. For the 31-year-old Bernardo, this is a chance to start a new stage of his career as the league's main star, reuniting with a close friend. Although Juventus and Benfica are also interested in Silva, the Gundogan factor and Galatasaray's readiness to offer generous signing bonuses make the Turkish option very realistic. My verdict: if this transfer happens, Galatasaray will finally secure its status as a tiger in the transfer market. A Gundogan-Bernardo pairing in the center of the field is a Champions League quarter-final level, not just the Turkish Championship. For Bernardo, it looks like an ideal exit. He gave City everything he could, won every possible trophy, and can now enjoy football as a legend alongside his best friend. So far, these are just negotiations, but Gundogan's presence in Istanbul makes this scenario more than just a rumor. Barcelona has informed Marcus Rashford that they want to keep him in the team after his loan ends. Fabrizio Romano confirms the club is extremely satisfied with the Englishman's professionalism. However, the activation of the buy option for €30 million is not yet guaranteed. The final decision depends on the financial state of the Catalans at the end of the season. Rashford is once again enjoying football under the guidance of Hansi Flick. If Barca finds these €30 million, it will be one of the club's most profitable transfers in recent years, as Marcus in this form is worth 3 times as much. A real transfer war is unfolding around one of England's best fullbacks, Tino Livramento. According to The Sun, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal has officially entered the battle with Manchester City to sign the 23-year-old Newcastle player. The estimated price tag is an impressive £60 million. However, this transfer could become something more than just a player move. Eddie Howe, in private conversations, calls Livramento irreplaceable, and a potential sale of Tino could lead to a serious rift between the head coach and the Magpies hierarchy. Howe is desperately trying to convince the player to sign a new contract, but Livramento, who was born in London and is a Chelsea Academy graduate, is seriously considering a return to his home city or a move to City, where Pep Guardiola sees him as an ideal long-term replacement for Kyle Walker. To keep their stars and reassure Eddie Howe, Newcastle's owners are preparing a symmetrical response. The club plans to unlock massive investments and spend up to £300 million on new signings over the next 2 transfer windows. This is intended to demonstrate to Livramento and other leaders that St. James's Park is the place to be for winning trophies right now. The Livramento situation is a test of strength for Newcastle's project. If they let Tino go to Arsenal or City, it will be a clear signal that the club remains only a stepping stone for stars. For Arteta, signing such a versatile player who can cover both flanks is the final touch to creating an ideal defence. A fierce January lies ahead, and I wouldn't be surprised if £60 million becomes only the starting price in this auction. While Manchester City is fighting for Livramento, the situation in the team's defence has shifted into emergency mode. An epidemic of injuries is forcing Pep Guardiola to act as aggressively as possible in the market. After Josko Gvardiol suffered a severe leg fracture and Ruben Dias was sidelined for 4 to 6 weeks, the centre of the Citizens' defence has become critically vulnerable. The situation is worsened by the absence of John Stones, so all efforts are now focused on signing Crystal Palace captain Marc Guehi. However, things are not simple with Guehi. His contract expires this June, and it is more profitable for Marc to wait until the summer to leave as a free agent. To break this plan, City is applying the same Semenyo strategy. As a reminder, for Antoine Semenyo, the Citizens paid over £62 million, exceeding the release clause for an immediate transfer. Similarly, for Guehi, they are ready to lay out around £35 to £40 million already in January, adding generous bonuses for the player himself to offset his gain from a summer free agent status. But what about the right flank? If Newcastle still blocks the Livramento transfer or the price of £60 million proves to be too high, Guardiola already has a more profitable option. This is the Brazilian Wesley Franca from Roma. Under Gianpiero Gasperini, the 20-year-old talent has had a brilliant run in Serie A: 17 matches, 3 goals, and 5 clean sheets. Wesley costs half as much as Livramento, around £30 million, and he is capable of covering not only the right but also the left flank. This makes him an even more attractive investment during a defensive shortage. My verdict: for Guardiola, this is a real fight for survival. Guehi is the only adequate option to save the centre of defence right now. As for Wesley Franca, it looks like a very smart plan B. If the fight for Livramento drags on, Pep can simply close the Wesley deal for £30 million and get a versatile player who is not inferior to the Englishman in dynamics. A double transfer of Guehi and Wesley for a total sum of around £70 million looks like a much more logical move than spending the entire amount on Livramento alone. Guardiola proves once again, he always has a move in response. That's it for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Keep watching for more football action, and have a wonderful day.